Hi guys, and today I'm going to show you how to install Mac OS X 10.5.7 on Dell Inspiron 1545. This is a requested tutorial from someone that I can't remember right now. Well, for step 0, you need to boot into your Windows partition. Should be Windows Vista or Windows 7, hopefully. And you need to open up the computer management by right-clicking my computer and then manage. This window will pop up. Select disk management right there, and then you see all your partitions of your computer. I have the Windows 7 default partition, recovery, Windows 7, and Mac OS X. Although it doesn't identify it as Mac OS X because Windows doesn't identify Mac. So what you're going to want to do is find your Windows partition or any partition, and you most likely are going to want to shrink it. So you'd select shrink. It takes forever to load, so I'm not going to. But then what you do is put in your value in megabytes of how many gig you want. I recommend at least 30, but about 15 is approximately the minimum. So you just use Google to convert. You know, if you want a 50 gigabyte partition, type in on Google 50 gigabytes to megabytes. That's all you need to do. And you don't have to really do anything with this partition. You could you could format it or do something like that, but you don't have to. Now at this point, you can take your iATKOS disk. Yep. Place it in your drive. And reboot the computer. Finally, it's restarting. Now what you're going to want to do is when you reach the BIOS, you're going to want to hit the F12 key right here. But we're not at the BIOS yet. I just reinstalled Windows 7 recently. I don't know why this has taken so long. Yeah, whatever. Alright, finally. Here's the BIOS. F12. Now select CD, DVD, CDRW drive. It'll take a good while to boot. Press any key to start from the CD-ROM, doesn't matter. Now it's going to load Mac OS X, Darwin, Kernel, whatever it is. Nothing that special. You'll see the Apple logo pop up soon. If you get any error messages, try booting with -V or something like that. Oh, just as an FYI, this is Intel graphics. The Intel GM graphics, GMX, whatever it's called. I don't have AHCI, so there won't be any QE or any Quartz Extreme. However, you can get native resolution. Alright, this is going to take forever to boot, so I'm going to stop the video for now. Okay, so finally it finished loading. It took about 5 minutes. Not too bad. So you click the next button to continue. And wait again for a minute or two, of course. Because it's booting off a disk, you have to wait a while for all this to happen. Waiting. Now what you're going to want to do is go to Utilities, open a disk utility, the disk utility opens. What you will want to do is find the partition you created earlier, and you're going to want to erase, make it, select volume format, Mac OS X journals, name it whatever you want, click erase. Take about 30 seconds, a minute, depending on the size. You can exit out of that, click continue, and agree. Select the destination. I'm not actually doing it, but I will select that. Now, install, customize it exactly how you see. So after this, you won't see Windows Bootloader. You will see this. Just boot up into Mac OS X. Don't ever touch these options when you're in the Chameleon bootloader. We'll restore Windows Bootloader later. That'll be part 3. But for now, we're going to worry about setting up Mac OS X. And part 2 will be getting the KEX and updating to 10.5.8. It's currently in 10.5.7. So now it boots up. Obviously, you can see this is not a clean install, but this is what your Mac or your AHCI will be like. Wireless should work out of the box, assuming it's an unmodified system, your computer, and audio won't work right now, which is why in part 2 we'll get the audio KEX, and we'll get native res. So you shouldn't have native res too. Like I said, this is for Intel graphics, but thank you for tuning in to part 1 of how to install OS X 10.5.7 update to 10.5.8 on Dell Inspiron 1545. Peace.